Okay, let's dive right in. We're about to explore a text that takes on one of the oldest questions in the world, but with a really fresh, modern spin.
Right from the start, the author points to a feeling that's probably familiar to a lot of us. You know that feeling? That little nagging sense like a stone in your shoe, that the life you're living is somehow just a little off-center from the one you're supposed to be living? And that little feeling, that stone in the shoe, well, it leads us to this massive question. And this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea to kick around. No, this is the core investigation that this whole text is built around.
To really get to the heart of the problem, the text gives us this character, this archetype known only as the seeker. And his story, well, it's designed to show us the very nature of the trap we can all fall into.
I mean, look at this journey. The seeker's path was absolutely exhaustive. He spent decades just devouring everything he could, from Western philosophy to Eastern mysticism, from books and ideas to intense, silent meditation retreats. And where did it all lead? To him sitting by a river for 17 years just waiting for an answer that never seemed to come.
Wow, this line just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the seeker's dilemma. All that knowledge, all that effort, it wasn't the solution. It was actually just a more spectacular, more sophisticated version of the problem itself. He thought the fire in his mind was enlightenment, but really, it was just a library burning down.
The text gives this a name, the spiritual project. It's this core belief that I am here, and the thing I'm looking for, whether you call it happiness or enlightenment or peace, is way over there. And the very act of trying to build a bridge from here to there just makes the gap feel bigger. It's a trap.
Okay, so if adding more knowledge, more practice, more effort isn't the answer, what if we tried the complete opposite? The text proposes this pretty radical idea, subtraction. Instead of trying to build yourself up into something, what if you start gently taking things away? Let's just try this for a second. A quick little investigation. First, just imagine letting go of the name you've always been called. Without that label, that first anchor of your identity, what's here? Okay, next up, let's take that whole life story, all your memories and personal history, and just set it aside for a moment. See it for what it is, a story that was pieced together after the events happened.
So without the weight of the past, without that long narrative, what's left right here in this actual moment?
And now the body itself. It's never the same, right? It's always in flux, always changing. It's more of a process than a permanent thing.
So what is it that's aware of all that change? What's the constant that's been here through it all? And here's the big one. Just notice for a second that you can watch your own thoughts. They just appear. They float through your mind, and then they disappear. You can witness them.
And that simple, direct observation leads to the question that opens the whole thing up. If you are the one watching the thought go by, can you really be the thought itself? Or are you the watcher?
So let's get back to our guy, the seeker, by the river. After 17 years of trying and waiting and striving, he just ran out of steam. The effort just stopped. And in that silence, in that stopping, something totally new finally had a chance to bubble up.
This slide really lays it out. On one side, you've got the seeker. His whole life is about striving to become something else. He's always trying, waiting, feeling separate from his goal. But the river is just being. It isn't trying to be a river. It's not trying to get to the ocean. It just flows. Its very nature and its action are one and the same. And that was the big realization. It wasn't something he earned or achieved. It was just a profound, sudden shift in who he thought he was. He suddenly understood he wasn't the guy on the bank, separate from the river, looking for an answer. He was the river. He was the water. So what does this actually mean for, daily life? Does the world suddenly change? Not really. The point is that you start to see how you've been creating your world, your story, moment by moment.
The text breaks this down so brilliantly. It's like seeing the code behind the program. First, there's just raw sensation, sights, sounds. Then the mind instantly categorizes it, matching it to memory. Right after that, it interprets it, asking, okay, but what does this mean for me? That interpretation gets spun into a larger story, and finally, a main character, the self, the me, is created to be the star of that story. It's a construction, built from the ground up. I love this metaphor from the text. It's just perfect. Your personality, your history, your successes and failures, it's all like a coat that you've been wearing for so long that you've completely forgotten you aren't the coat. It's shaped you, for sure, but it isn't the essential you underneath.
And all of this leads to the final and most liberating point of the entire text. This is the big punchline, the good news that flips that whole spiritual project on its head.
Here it is. The good news is that there's nothing to find. There's nothing to achieve. There's nowhere you need to get to. You can't acquire what you already are. The whole search was based on this one mistaken idea, that what you were looking for was somewhere else.
And so, the text leaves us not with a grand answer, but with a simple, direct pointer. It's an invitation to just look, right now, in the tiny gap before your next thought rushes in, and to see for yourself what is already and has always been right here.